Okay, good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's well. Happy Monday. Thank you for those that are joining us today and every day. We really appreciate it. We've been talking about this concept of the action leading to the action, right? This is a key piece here for us. And this is really where it starts to change. And this is we spoke about this last week, but this really, if we sort of like digest this, is really where we start to change. Because whether your action is there for a result, or whether your action is there for the action, are two entirely different exercises. Right? Action to results makes the action almost irrelevant. It's the results that you're looking for. And that's okay. You can look for results, but it takes away from the value of the building of the action. Now, when you do that in your brain, what happens is the more you discount the action, right? You want the result. The more the action becomes sort of like an impediment to the result. Let me give you an example. So, a lot of people go to work to make money, right? And some people go to work and they don't care what they do. They just want to make money. I think I told the story here once before about the documentary that I saw. Oh my gosh, I'll never forget it. I mean, maybe I will in the future. I don't know, but I haven't until now. I don't know, a decade ago, I saw a documentary on the future of YouTube, or maybe 2 decades ago, whatever it was. I was involved in whatever. I was involved in something, and a guy says to me, "You got to see this if you want to understand what social media is doing to people." So I watched it, and it was on YouTube. It was a documentary on this thing called YouTube and what it's doing to the young population. And the documentary was about this new reality, or this new move towards YouTube stars. In the old days, you had movie stars and TV stars and sports stars, right? But now, YouTube has created and minted their own stars. So you never heard of these people, but they've got 5 million followers. Now, you're not on their chats. You're not on their pages. There's no way you even get to them. You're not clicking through and you pass by their show, right? You're not flipping through a magazine and you see their ad, right? They're on the vast world of YouTube, but there just happen to be a channel somewhere that you know nothing about, but 5 million people know about it, right? And 5 million people tune in every time this person speaks. That's massive. They're called YouTube stars. Now it's obvious, but back then it wasn't. So they had a conference of all these YouTube stars, right? People that, unless you're fans of them, you've never heard of before. But they went to this conference and you couldn't believe your eyes. The kids who were watching these people were going out of their minds. So they interview the kids in the lobby, and they say, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And one girl, I'll never forget, says, "I want to be a YouTube star. I want to be famous on YouTube." So the camera person said, "Famous for what?" And she said, "I don't care. I don't care what I'm famous for, as long as I'm famous and as long as I'm a YouTube star." And I remember watching this going, oh my gosh, this is the danger. Meaning the danger is that fame is being given to people without any real reason for their fame other than whatever they're going to do to get the fame. Now, this always happens. People always sell themselves. They'll always drug themselves. People will always do this for fame. There isn't a question. But a generation of people that have an access point to be able to do things for no other reason than just fame is, by definition, a scary proposition for them. This is the example of what I'm trying to get at. When the action is for the action, or when the action is for the result. And the reason why it's so critical is because if you want a result, the action becomes irrelevant, so you don't become good at anything. You chase something that has you constantly sacrificing to get some result that's really meant to be a manifestation of an action, right? So if this young woman would have said, well, I love cooking and I want to spend my whole life cooking, and I really love pastries, and I hope with YouTube I can be famous for pastries, that's different, right? Because she's trying to spend her time on the action of pastry making. And so the action of Monday morning making pastries really for her is to get her to Tuesday morning making pastries a little bit better, to Wednesday morning making pastries a little bit better, to a year from now being the best in her town at pastry making. And if the action leads to the action, and really the benefit of working hard on pastries on a Monday is so that she could be a little bit better on a Tuesday, right? And then a lot better in a month, and an enormous amount better in 10 years. Now, okay, you may not be so enamored by pastries that alone will give you the benefit, but maybe you want to now leverage that so people see you. I hear that. But the action then, in this case, pastry making, isn't irrelevant. It's it. That's the, as they say in Hebrew, the ikar, the essential point. I'm really good at math, and I want to spend my life in math. I'm really good at being a parent, and I want to be a better parent. And so the work that I do Tuesday morning in parenting, it's not so that my kid grows up and is independent. That's the result. It's so that I could be a better parent tomorrow, and then the next day, and then the next day, right? It's the action. And if I'm a better parent every day of being a parent, I'm sure there'll be positive implications for my children. But I'm not like cajoling the kid to get to become independent or to get into the school. And so I'm like figuring out my parenting to position the kid to something. I'm not making pastries to get famous, because I only want to be famous, which is the result. And everything else is taken except for pastry making. And I heard that someone else did it, which is what happens a lot of times, right? What do you want to do? I don't know, nothing. But someone else is successful at something, so I guess I'll do that, right? And people call me, they want to get into real estate. Why do I want to do real estate for? Because my uncle's really rich and he's in real estate. I'm like, oh, that's nice. So you want money? Yeah. Okay, so what's real estate? Well, I heard real estate you can get money. Really? Real estate you can just get money? You just walk into real estate and you open up doors in apartment buildings and there's money? Right? You just build things and it's money? What are you good at? What do you want to bring to the world called real estate? What niche? There are things that are more lucrative than other things, right? The real estate professor makes less money than the real estate executive, but what do you bring to the table? What's the action that you want to work on for a long time so that you get to be really good at something, so that you can bring value to this world that's not just generalist and you're not bouncing from idea to idea and job to job because all you're really looking for is money or a result or fame or social standing. How many times has that happened? Why do I want to do that thing for? Because everyone's going there. So what? It's bad for you. School, that doesn't work for you. That house is too big for you. You don't have that much money. That vacation is out of your budget. That school's not good for your kids. The kids are gonna, why are you doing this for? Well, and we're all like this, but let's just call it out, because the result of doing all these things is, it's fame. It's just social status in my small circle fame. There's a result there. It's not the action. It's not because this thing that I'm doing is a natural progression of the work that I've done. It's good for me, makes sense for me, and I'm happy to do it every day. There's a result that I'm looking for, usually in the world of acceptance. Now, when you're thinking through the habit, and we touched this last week, we'll do it again. Like we're not running, but when you're done with the action, ask yourself, am I just getting to the result? Because I'm just running to the result. I'm not gonna spend enough time on the action, so I'm not gonna be really good at it. I'm not gonna think through how to exercise properly, so I'm just trying to get to losing weight. So I'm really not going to be good at exercising, and I'm really not going to do exercising after a while, because either I'll give up on the whole weight thing, or I'll lose some weight and I'll be done with it, and I don't even enjoy it. I never really delved into it to really do it right, so I'm only trying to get to the result. When you do anything, especially if it's a resolution, you have to get to a place where the win is that you're a little bit better at the thing you're doing. And the reason is because we're on this earth for a reason, and we have a purpose here. And the things that we are naturally inclined to do could be close to that reason. And so our job really is to be the best that we can be. Action, not to try to control the things that we want to have, which is the result. All right, we'll talk about this. All right, everybody, have a great day. And with God's help, I cannot wait to see you again tomorrow. Have a great day.
Living on a lifeline, the world doesn't ever seem to change. Looking for the sunshine, but you're caught up in the rain. It's like your eyes are wide open, but you cannot see. You're watching life pass you by like 1, 2, 3. Walking in destruction, the winds of life blur your vision. All the devastation, forever feels like you're on the run. It's time, no one else can set you free. You're locked inside, and only you have got the key.